Hey friends, this is Brittany from Talk to the Hands. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Mad Hatter themed party hat. Make sure you hang out to the very end of the video because there are some things that I initially started with in this tutorial that I ended up not even using. So be sure to stay to the end so that you can get my final notes on all of it. All right friends, let's get started.
Here's what you need. All of my supplies came from Hobby Lobby. We started with a fun fabric, or you can use scrapbook paper, a paper cup, and some felt, and a headband. You gotta have some fun embellishments. I got these really fun feathers, some artificial flowers, and then I found this really great pocket watch and these mini jars that I filled up with beads to be my little drink me jars. For tools, you're gonna need a pair of scissors, some wire cutters, and a hot glue gun. I love my hot glue gun. All projects have a hot glue gun. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start with the paper cup. We're gonna wrap it with our fabric. Now, I purchased a full yard of fabric. You do not need a full yard. There was way too much, but I wanted to make sure I had enough just in case I messed up. By the way, if you like to sew or work with material like this, you're probably going to hate me while watching this. Nothing is measured, like at all. And now we wrap. I'm sure there's a way easier way to go about this, but this is how I went about it. Ultimately, you want to just, glue it down, wrap it around, and you're gonna glue the other side. Once this piece is glued down, you're gonna want to cut off the excess so that you have a straight seam, which you'll see here in just a sec. Here we go. Ta-da! And now we're just going to fold in the top and the bottom, just glue those down. I knew for my hat that, most of this was going to be covered up, so I really wasn't too concerned about making it pretty. I just wanted to get it all tucked away. By the way, if you're not used to working with a hot glue gun, be very careful because they are crazy hot. You don't see it, but I burned myself quite a few times in this process. All right, now we're going to cover the top. So I cut out just a circle out of my felt, and I'm going to cover it in the same material. Still not measuring anything, just kind of going for it. Probably could have used some fabric glue. I just used hot glue. It worked just fine. All right, and we're just going to glue it to the top. This is also like the top of the hat as well. So if you're not planning on putting a lot of things on your hat, you may want to take a little more time than I did to make this pretty. Like I said, I knew mine was going to be pretty well covered, so it was fine. All right, let's get this bad boy onto the headband. Now I used a lot of glue. Like a lot, because I wanted it to hold. I ended up adding more in this stage here that I cut out, but you get the idea. So while it's drying, we're gonna go ahead and start prepping all of our embellishments. I started by cutting up my black roses and these black feathers. All this came from the wedding aisle at Hobby Lobby. 50% off, that's the way to go. And this is like my little mini jar. And I'm filling it up with these red and kind of a clearish white beads. So now because I was using two colors, I wanted them to be blended together. If you want to go this route, I highly recommend mixing them up before pouring them into the bottle. You'll see that I kind of go for it. I pour it in, and then I pour in the other one and I start shaking them up, and it took a while to actually get it to where I wanted it. And here we go. Shake, 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 shake. Still shaking. Yep. You can kind of see they're getting there. It's moving. Shake it some more. I ended up gluing the top on so to make sure it stayed, and then I went ahead and added in my little mini tag. I just used a real fine Sharpie and I wrote "Drink Me" on it, tied it on, and boom, done, ready to go. All right, so the headband's all set. Now we can start adding on our flowers. And honestly, I probably should have started with the boa for this part. Like, I should have put that on first. Live and learn. Oh, there's the boa. It ended up being fine. I just kind of glued and just kind of folded around the flowers that were already there. You couldn't tell a difference. Perfect. Those little feathers were perfect. Now it's time for the big feathers. And I cut these down quite a bit. They were really big to start, and I cut them down a few times to get them to the size that I wanted. And fluff, lots of fluffing. You must fluff as you go. More feathers. Oh, this silver spray thing was absolutely perfect. Oh, and here's the watch. This is my favorite part. He is pretty heavy, so I used quite a bit of glue. I did set the time on it so it's the correct time. And add that Drink Me bottle. This part is the best part of the whole hat. It really is the showstopper. And now we're going to add in this really great little glitter heart. We'll nod to the Queen of Hearts. And then at the very last step, I just added these black leaves that came from the roses and just used them as filler to fill in those holes. And here's the finished product. Now it's time for my notes.
Okay, so we're all done with the hat. I am really, really happy with how it came out. There are some things that I would definitely do differently. I completely forgot to add on the bottom part. And this was supposed to be like the brim of the hat around the bottom, and I completely forgot to add it. So if I were to make this again, I would absolutely add this on. Not because it isn't so much that it like really makes or breaks the look of the hat, but it would give me a little bit more workspace. Just for like adding the flowers and the feathers, it just would have given a little more dimension, and I would have had more room to work with. So that I would totally add that. I would definitely spend some time on this trim here along the edge. And I did have ribbon. I actually had ribbon for that, but I forgot. So I would add that just to kind of give it a more finished look. I'm really glad that I kind of opted for this nicer headband. They do have at Hobby Lobby just like those plain plastic, they're just white headbands. It would have worked, but it would not have been very comfortable without covering it with something. So that really saved me a step, and also it's already black, which kind of goes with the theme. And there were quite a few things that I didn't use and I'm just gonna return. Like I didn't use all my feathers. The roses were too big. The hot glue worked really well. It's worked fine. I feel really confident that this is gonna hold together. There were things that I would have totally wanted to add to this. Like I was really wanting to find some bunny ears to put on this. I thought that would be like amazing cute, but I never did find any. Be sure to comment below if you've tried this project before or if you're really thinking about trying it. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to like this video. It makes such a big difference for us and we really appreciate every single like.